Hello! I'm a random person on the internet who loves caffeine so much I'm whole branding, so while you're here, maybe you consider sticking around while I chat and do some art. So, I've always admired Lolita fashion, also known as EGL, but it was a bit daunting to actually start wearing it until mid to late last year, where I dived deep into its history and terminology. And I was able to buy my first JSK, and I've been really into it since. Some would call it an obsession. Anyway, I really like EGL, but something I like more is when my interests combine. Like those FNAF My Little Pony OSTs. So, in November, damn, that was a while ago, I started a fun project where I designed EGL inspired by the Amazing Digital Circus characters. Originally, it was supposed to be a dress concept that turned into fan art of the cast wearing the coords, in quotation marks with coords. Because, as most of these things were done quite a bit ago, and yeah, honestly, I could have done much better with styling in particular. Originally, my main focus was the dress, instead of the other elements of the cord, such as the KC, which, you know, can be a simple bow, or a really intricate design, such as these circus-themed KCs. Oh yeah, I'm sad to say, if you want to see characters like Zoogle here, you are gonna have to wait. I'm sorry! Anyway, first I started with Ragatha, where I had a focus inspiration from classic Lolita for its longer dresses and A-line silhouette. Classic EGL typically uses darker or muted hues compared to Sweet Lolita, so overall I thought it would match Ragatha the best. As well, I did take some elements from Country Lolita, with its patterns and motifs, which you'll see more later when I add a nod to her horses. I also thought Country Lolita would be a good substyle to take inspiration from, given the nudges to her past we were given in the show, specifically in episode 4 and 5. I love episode 4 so much. I really need that, high Ragatha figure. I also need just Gangle figures in general. I have more Pomni merch than I do, actually. Okay, I'm going off script. As well as inspiration, let's talk about some things you can see. In the design of her OP, I really like dresses when they have ruffles along the bottom, so I thought to add that. I also wanted to tie elements to Raggedy Ann, who Ragatha's inspired by, adding a motif of the doll onto the dress. As well, I want to exemplify her patches on the dress in her design and found a really nice dress as inspiration. I also adore EGL, where they have a pattern, then towards the mid to lower section of the dress, a print, split again with the pattern for the end. So I use that as a reference, and more inspo from classic Lolita. After having some inspo of what I wanted in the dress, I like to pick a few colors to focus on. So I took reds and blues from Ragatha's design, muted them a tad. So you can also see how things like the KC were, a bit of an afterthought, since I kind of just put a print on her bow. But after designing Ragatha's OP in my brain, couldn't just leave it, so I made a quick drawing of her wearing it. Next, I decided to do my personal favorite character, Gangle! I knew I wanted Gangle to have a JSK, which resembles a theater curtain, with her design being inspired by the theater through her comedy and tragedy mask. I also have seen quite a bit of unique features in Lolita as time has progressed. Looking back on how Lolita has evolved, one thing I see a bit now is pom-poms! Yes, I made a small rant about the evolution of EGL fashion resulting in pom-poms being used more. I don't care. But yeah, I decided to add a trim of pom-poms on the bottom of her JSK. I loved the design of this dress and really wanted to take inspiration from it in particular through its shape, but also the really nice bow on the front. Also, another way I took inspiration from this is the print being all over the dress rather than sectioned with Ragatha's cord. The pattern I hand drew by using different elements from Giggle's masks. So you got the comedy mask, tears from her tragedy mask, and the star and swirl from the mask, which was introduced in episode 4. Oh, that was a lot of masks. Like the word mask, I said that way too many times in one sentence. Okay, colors for Gangle was pretty easy. I think the hardest part was harmonizing the pink with the red, but overall, really easy. I find it very easy to get very fine colors, very complicated, but it's really nice when redesigning things with already set color palettes. It is a breath of fresh air. Oh my god, I'm going off script again. Oh yeah, accessories. Okay, so I felt like Gangle would love wearing EGL and it's full with a Casey and wrist cuffs, so I gave Gangle gloves and wrist cuffs matching her JSK. However, please note, I did end up exchanging her gloves for a headdress, which yes, has cat ears, with my lovely Gangle being my favorite character. Yeah, of course that comes with bios. I'm sorry, I'm the artist here drawing everything, so yeah, she gets a nice Casey and extra pizzazz. I don't care. But also, extra time. Mainly because she gave me so much damn trouble. I really wanted to express those moments we get with Gangle where she's happy and is just herself. But the main trouble I had was her anatomy. Though I did get there in the end, I also maybe or maybe not spent more time on her because of rendering and me wanting to do something different with my art. Who's to say? Hey, look at this cool bee I drew. Jax. Yeah, he's not my fit. I'm a fan of Jax. He's a cool character. Anyways, I like rabbits, and there's a purple rabbit in FNAF, and he's a voice actor, voices N, so, I mean, he moves the plot around, and he is entertaining, but, you know, he's a terrible person. Anyway, we're not dissecting characters here. You clicked on a video about Lolita fashion, so the only purpose of me dissecting Jax is to make a slay-ass dress. I wanted to give Jax a Sapalette JSK since his design features some swag overalls. Also, I wanted to take loads of inspiration from his room, which was featured in the latest episode. So I used his wallpaper the wallpaper in his room as the pattern. I also liked how the bows were on this dress here, so I sampled it, along with giving him front pockets. Yes, they are functional. This is not a real dress. Also, you know, if anyone's curious, the side pockets would be functional too. I don't know, maybe you people want to know. Also, man, I wish I gave this bunny's dress more lace. And, you know, just a bit more. But yeah, I gave him some ruffles on the end of the sapalette, along with around the front pocket. Oh yeah, jingle jangle, jingle jangle. I hung keys along the belt as a keychain sort of deal, along with a patch of his dead friend. Overall, I found Jack's design smooth to go through, though kinda wish I gave him a little bit more of a something, but I still really like what I did in the end. Now, speaking of him wearing it, if dude don't like wearing a maid dress despite looking better than usual, yeah, he's not gonna like wearing pretty EGL. What a loser. Anyways, yes, so I kind of headcanon this being like an adventure sort of thing where boom, Kang puts Lolita fashion on everyone, and yeah, bro is like trying so hard to act smug and cool and shit. Now on to our main girl, Pomni. I'm holding a Pomni figure right now. She's having an existential crisis. But yeah, I must admit, I really wanted to do our anxiety-ridden girl justice, which honestly, anxiety pretty much only lasted 3 episodes, but I swear this image continues to live rent-free in my head. So yeah, Pomni was a character I procrastinated on. Yeah, the most. Now, while Circus Lolita as a sub-style is up in the air, it was still my main inspiration since she's often referenced as a clown. Please, let's not go on to how jesters and clowns are different. Yes, I'm aware. Let's move on. They're still often joined together. I honestly thought this pattern on this dress to be perfect for Pomni. And I really wanted the color design used often in jester OCs, but along the waist, like in this OP. Speaking of OPs, well yes, all of my inspo features OPs. I in fact made Pomni as EGL and Heather JSK. But, that's because I wanted to give her these very elegant bell sleeve blouse. Like here! I did this to emulate her very creepy sleeves, but just in a completely different direction. As well, this was my most recent design, so I actually remembered to chord her better. I should probably start speedrunning all of this since Pomni overall has the most going on. So, I saw this pretty chord on TikTok, which I'll show on screen if I can find her again. But I loved how the bloomers. I loved the bloomers that they were wearing, but also that you could see them you could see them clearly on the chord. So, snatch in place. Next, I liked the star elements and wanted to replace them for the pom-poms as well. I made the exit side frequently in the show into a print sprinkled around the JSK. I think that's most of it. Phew, that was a lot. Oh yeah, Pomni's pose is in reference to her President Pomni mini. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed your stay in our little cafe. Friendly reminder, if you like this video, there are videos like this every month with more relaxed videos being posted like every week or so. So please, if you want to become a local to this cafe, like and subscribe. Who's your favorite Amazing Digital Circus character? And if you want to get interesting, what do you think their coffee order would be at a cafe? Let's make it interesting. Anyway, have a lovely day!